This is Sports Central with Joe D and John Franchini on WICR.
And we are back. Look at that, John. I see you bobbing your head over there. You want to dance a little bit? It's not a dancing program.
No.
For our final segment of the evening, we got to talk MLB spring training.
Oh, yes.
MLB spring training is in full effect. Franchini franchise over
The
here.
New York Mets.
He's in his glory days, and the season hasn't started.
This is the best time of year for a Met fan.
Yeah, you got
spring
that.
training.
You got that right.
At least he's got something to be excited about with the Knicks suffering. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
at least he got spring
I'm
training
dying
to
for the
look
Mets
forward
to
to.
come. I'm dying for the Mets to play. And even when the Mets are bad, I still watch them. You know, I'm not that type of guy.
You know what?
Knicks, this season, like I said before, the Knicks have been doing terrible. I haven't been really watching them like I usually do, like I did last year, because they're ripping my heart out. But the Mets,
Again with the Knicks.
all right, I'm comparing the Mets. The Mets rip my heart out, but you know, I mean,
You stick with them.
I stick with them
There you
because
go.
I have a
They're
deep
the
feeling
amazing
for them.
They're the amazing
You know,
Mets.
A deep feeling for the Mets.
And
all right, franchise.
if
all
you're
right.
watching spring training right now, I
Uh-oh.
just said spring.
spring training,
If you're watching spring training right now, you can see a bright light. You can see a bright light coming into the future for the Mets, and that is because the New York Mets have pitching.
pitching. You hear that? They got pitching.
Pitching.
Very bright young pitchers, and we've seen that the last few games with Noah Syndergaard, who looks
Awesome.
awesome.
Awesome. And
You got Buster. You see Buster's tweet over there about Noah?
yeah, Buster Olney, beat writer. Well, he's the MLB beat writer basically, and he is the main analyst on ESPN for Major League Baseball, and he says that any smart stockbroker for a Major League Baseball, as far as investing in a team for the future, he says invest in the New York Mets
Look at
for
that.
2015 because of the pitching. Matt Harvey, Zach Wheeler, Noah Syndergaard, Rafael Montero, Jacob DeGrom, etc., etc.,
Look at him. He's naming guys I've never even heard of. Oh, the
Joe, first spring training game of the year. Rafael Montero's on the mound.
All right.
Top prospect for the Mets.
How'd he do? Let's hear it.
How'd he do?
How'd he do? You
He
see
was-
that? Bet you he did well.
He did terrific. He did terrific. He was never behind in the count. He never got to 3 balls in the count. No walks, no hits, 1 strikeout,
How many innings?
2. Well, I mean,
Well,
spring
that's
training.
all you're gonna get.
It's-
2,
yeah.
3, 4,
Pitch
maybe.
count. And the max pitch count's 35. Then you got Jacob DeGrom coming into relief. 6 batters, 4 strikeouts.
Look at that.
Bang, bang, bang.
Boom. Impressive.
Next outing, who we got on Monday, Noah Syndergaard gets on the mound. First batter is Jason Hayward. 98-mile-an-hour fastball by him, strike 3.
No problem.
98 in spring training. His first spring training start, the kid's throwing 98.
Now, that's some gas. That's gas.
Joe, do you know what kind of glory I was in when I saw Noah Syndergaard? 6'6", 250 pounds.
It's a big boy.
Throwing gas, Joe. He was throwing gas.
It's
Yeah,
definite.
I was floating.
floating. Wow, well put. He
That's
was
why I'm
floating.
putting my prediction in that Noah Syndergaard, coming this season, I think the Mets are going to bring him up because this is stupid nonsense of them with the arbitration,
Yeah.
where they don't. The same thing they did with Wheeler last year, where they didn't bring him up into July because they want to run the clock a little more and extend his free agent year another year. Whereas instead of him being a free agent in 2016, he'd be a free agent in 2017. I think that Noah Syndergaard will come into the major leagues this season in around June, and he will make a run for Rookie of the Year.
He definitely seems like he's got what it takes.
Jose Fernandez, the Rookie of the Year last year in the National League, is very similar to Noah Syndergaard. I think Noah Syndergaard has a little bit more velocity on his pitches, but I think that Syndergaard can really help out the Mets this season, and he can. I don't know if he'll make up the loss of Matt Harvey, but he won't because Matt Harvey's a stud.
no. Yeah.
But I mean, he's terrific. He looks terrific. He's a future ace, I think, in this Mets staff. Not an ace. Harvey's the ace, but I think
Right.
he's 1A, 1B.
And here's the thing: they have so many young, talented pitchers. Where my concern is, at what time or will they decide to let one go, trade
It's
one.
gonna happen. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
And if that does happen, who would that guy be
I think that's gonna happen at the trade deadline.
this year?
Yes.
Wheeler, I'm thinking.
I don't know
Wheeler?
about Wheeler. I think it might come. I actually saw a tweet from one of the guys in the Mets blog. I don't know if you follow them. Do you follow them?
No, I do not.
They tweeted about what the heck is that guy's name?
If you don't know,
Oh,
I don't know.
Mejia.
Mejia, who's on the
Okay.
mound today, I think, right? Was he
Yeah,
on the mound?
Mejia,
Yeah,
Wilmer
I think so.
Flores. Oh no, this is sorry, it wasn't Mejia. It was Lucas Duda, Wilmer Flores, and another pitching prospect that the Mets have down in the minor leagues because they have this plethora of pitching prospects. For Asdrubal Cabrera for the Cleveland Indians, the shortstop. The Mets obviously need a shortstop.
Yeah, obviously need to fill that hole.
Steven Drew is still out there. Everybody knows that, but he's
Who knows? It seems like
That's
they're
a
all
gamble.
right. But this is the type of guys that are available. Cargo from the Colorado Rockies, Carlos Gonzalez. He's been dangled out there, but that's going to take a guy like Montero or a guy like, I don't know, a combination of DeGrom, Montero, maybe even Wheeler. See, the Mets organization, they view Harvey, Syndergaard, and Wheeler as Glavine, Maddox, Smoltz. Not obviously they're not as good as them, but yet who knows? We don't know what's going to be.
Who knows? Yes.
Greg Maddux is one of the greatest pitchers of all time, but the way Matt Harvey pitched last year, he has a bright future ahead of him. I'm not putting them in the same category, but the Mets brass really thinks of these guys highly and think that the other guys are expendable and to use to get a big bat.
And I think that ideally that they need to fill some holes, and if they believe that these top three are going to be there and have the potential to produce, that they should strongly consider
They need a
shipping
bat. Oh God, they need a bat.
shipping one of their younger guys.
They
out.
need a bat so badly.
Well, you got a good little show of what Curtis
With the
Granderson,
Grandy Man.
the Grandy Man, with 2 home runs the other day. How about that?
Right, but
I'm nervous. I don't think Granderson is going to be producing at, say, like all-star levels.
he's
like,
definitely.
like he has.
Oh,
No,
what do you mean? What do you mean? I tell you what, he's definitely not doing is hitting 40 home runs. He's definitely not hitting 40 home runs.
He's either he's not.
I think his home runs go down by 10. I think he'll hit 30.
Maybe even 25. I don't know. About
Really?
that, yeah.
25?
I'm thinking
25?
I'm thinking high 20s, maybe like 28.
28, 29, 30, around that area. Really? You're going 25 and below?
No, I'm
What,
saying-
the over-under
no,
of
no, no.
25, you're going under 25.
I'm saying between 25 and 30, no more.
What's the over-under?
28.
Over-under
28.
25.
25 to 30, I just
So
said.
over. You're taking the over.
I'm taking it over, but I'm not going over 30.
Well, neither am I.
All right.
Because he's playing in City Field.
We agree on something here tonight.
Right.
Thank you.
28, right in the middle. Right in the
28.
middle.
All
Right what I
28,
said.
All
Okay.
right, Sax, all right.
But still,
Make you
I
happy.
still don't think Granderson's the long-term answer.
No.
No, of course
No,
not.
He needs help.
definitely not.
Him,
No.
he needs help. They need help. They're
And
gonna
that's
get
not
help.
enough help with David Wright in that lineup. Face of the MLB, may I mention, right?
He won.
How about that? Look at that.
He-
Face of the MLB.
Can you argue with that?
How many times did you retweet that?
A
To make
lot.
him face of
A
the
lot.
MLB.
A lot. I don't know if you were watching me, but a lot. I was retweeting it a lot.
I think
But
for the last month, all John Franchini tweeted was
David Wright,
David Wright, face of the MLB. So I hope he's happy that he won.
It's big. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm definitely happy. But as far as being a Met fan and for Met fans out there, there's finally some hope, and there's finally something to be excited about, and that's definitely the pitching, and that's definitely that's the way to start a winning organization with pitching. You have to have good pitching to win. Look at the Cardinals. They got coming up this year. You know, Wainwright came back. They lost Chris Carpenter, who retired. They replaced him with this guy Michael Wacha came out of nowhere, and he's terrific. He threw the ball great in the playoffs, Michael Wacha, against the Pirates, against the Dodgers, and then you got Wainwright, obviously, who's their stud. And then after Michael Wacha, you have the guy Martinez, who came out of the bullpen. All these guys, they just produced these pitchers, and look how far that took them. They took them to the World Series, and that's how the Mets have to build their team. But they definitely need to get a hitter or two.
Two would be best. Two would be
Hitter
better.
or two, and to do that, they need to trade one of their young starting pitchers and spend, which they have been reluctant to do.
To caution Met fans, that they're definitely moving in the right direction.
Next year's a big year for the Mets.
Absolutely, but record-wise, it's not going to be a sudden turnaround.
With this season, you're talking
Yeah,
about. No,
yeah.
it's not.
No,
They're-
no.
I think they'll be better.
I think
You
that
don't think they're going to be better?
I think record-wise they might not be better, but in terms of like production and feeling, the games aren't going to be blowouts. They might be like 2-1 losses or like 3-2,
Right. Well, I think that
which is certainly a lot better than say losing like 7-1.
okay, but what I think that is going to happen with the Mets this year is that I think they're going to improve their play. I think they'll be a little more exciting to watch. A lot depends on
Definitely.
what happens with Darno as the catcher. He's a big question mark. Juan Lagares, who
Wait.
he needs to hit.
With all these young players that the Mets
They're
have,
very young, the Mets.
that's what's bringing excitement because there's that if factor. There's the potential factor labeled all over the Mets, saying, you know, if these guys could come out,
Right,
play
it's
baseball, this team can be fun, can be competitive.
Very drawing interest.
Look at the Pirates of the last few years. They've been drawing interest with the young guys.
Look, McCutchen, Starling Marte for the Pirates, all these guys, you know, they are injecting this youth into these organizations, and it's propelling them to winning seasons. I think that's what the Mets are trying to do, but they're doing it in a different way as far as the Pirates are concerned, because those guys can hit. I feel like the Mets, they want to walk. They want to get on bases, whatever, like base to base to base. And I can't stand that. Because Sandy Alderson's looking for guys with big on base percentages. They stress this in the broadcast and the telecast on spring training, and I think that the approach they need to have is they can have guys that can get on base, but you know, they need guys to get the people in from being on base. They need to drive these runners in, and they don't have guys that can do that. A lot of those guys, anyway, besides Wright and Granderson, really. Who else do they have? Come on.
Oh well, hopefully you look at Ike Davis, who really fell off.
Oh my God, Joe.
Listen, the guy.
No.
What? No, because I'm bringing up Ike.
Ike Davis is my least favorite player on the entire Mets team.
Well, that's unfortunate.
He's
He's not
my
on my favorite. He's not on my
least
A list either. I'll tell you that
Literally
much.
the least.
I'll tell you that much. He's not on my A list. But here's what I got to say about Ike Davis. He's shown that he has somewhat of the potential. He had an abysmal year last year, but he's shown that he could do it. If he could regroup, get himself back together, that'd be tremendous for the Mets. That'd be tremendous.
Absolutely.
Certainly.
That's all I'm saying about Ike Davis. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Hall of Fame, first best Hall of Fame.
He needs to bat over 200.
He has.
That would help.
That would help.
I think 198
that would
last
help.
year, 170 at one point. Oh my God.
He has the potential to be back at that 1 year where he did produce, and if he does, that would be enormous. And that's all I'm saying.
What would you rather watch, Joe? Would you rather watch the Knicks in the fourth quarter or Ike Davis at the plate?
Again with the Knicks.
It all reverts back to how much the Knicks stink.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just so disgusted. I just can't anymore.
And I'm gonna go towards the Yankees right now.
It's about time. I was waiting for that little transition.
We're gonna transition into the Yankees right
All
now.
right, Masahiro Tanaka
Tanaka looked really good.
looks great. Well, I hope he looks great. You invested all that money in that guy. Bring him over.
There's a lot. I'm telling you, the Yankee fans looking, and you know how Yankee fans are. If he's on the Yankees, he's awesome. Or if he's signed by the Yankees, he's a great player. No matter what he is, where he came from, whatever. Masahiro Tanaka, as far as Yankee fans concerned, this is what they wanted. This is what they expected. I think, as far as the front office is concerned, they were hoping that he produced the way he did in his first spring training start, just to get some of the pressure off of not pressure, but scrutiny off of them for giving him all this money, and also to show that this was a good investment. And it was his first start really projected that as far as his performance is concerned, because he looked very good.
It's tough. He did look good. He did perform well, but it's just tough to judge in spring training. And they have so many more needs and worries right now that, you know, I
honestly don't think they're a championship team.
No.
They have a lot of gaps in that team where, you know, if Tanaka pitches well, that's great, but you still have a lot of other spots where you have third base, second base. You have a lot of question marks.
Shortstop.
You have a lot of question marks.
I don't care who Derek Jeter is.
You have a shaky infield. I mean, you have McCann, you have Teixeira coming back. That's great.
Their entire infield is shaky.
Shaky.
Who's the catcher this year?
McCann.
But you don't know if he can catch every day.
But that's a solid. That's probably their most solid pickup.
Yeah,
of the
right.
season.
Certainly.
But when he needs a day off, you're gonna have Cervelli spell him, right?
What? You have no choice.
And then he's gonna go to the DH. I think they're very crowded, the Yankees, as far as Beltran and Soriano,
Gardner,
Ichiro. there's a lot of outfielders in this team. Beltran's gonna play.
Ellsbury, don't forget about it.
Well, he's playing center field.
I know, but I'm just saying in general, that's a crowded outfield as well. You
Well,
got
no,
a lot of guys
but
at
these are the
bat.
guys that are gonna play. Ellsbury's not going anywhere. He's playing. Like Soriano, guys like Soriano and Ichiro and Beltran. Where are you gonna put these guys?
I think maybe what they could do is move like Soriano to second.
No way. He can't play infield at his age
You don't think
anymore.
he can play? You think he's gonna play second?
No.
You don't think so, Joe?
I don't think.
You're really sold on that.
I'm really sold on that. I don't think he has it in him anymore to play that position. At his age, you got to think. You move him to second, you're going to be losing a lot of energy out of Soriano.
And I think this is another. Just like we were talking about the Mets with all the plethora of pitching to trade at the trade deadline, I think the Yankees might move an outfielder at the deadline.
Who would you move? You just signed Brett Gardner to.
Not Gardner. No, not Gardner. Obviously not Gardner. Ellsbury or Beltran. It's going to be between Ichiro and Soriano, and I think
are
the
you
most attractive guy out of that for a contending team might be Soriano. They might get a power hitter that gets hot.
Are you really going to get much value in return for Soriano or Ichiro?
What are they going to do with them?
At that point, you may as well sit him on the bench and
one of them has to
and
accept
fill in.
Right? Yeah, one of them has to accept the backup role.
Well, I think I could see
To win.
Ichiro accepting it.
Yeah, at the stage of his career, I think.
I see Ichiro accepting that role because if you're not going to get any value back,
win.
you might as well just sit on the bench and just fill in because there's going to be plenty of opportunities. And with an injury-prone outfield that they have, there might be opportunities to start as well.
Right, but in the infield, I think there's question marks at literally every position except for catcher.
You
don't know what Teixeira is.
You expect Teixeira to bounce back.
Yes.
Yeah, but you expect him to bounce back, but you don't know what's going to happen with his wrist. First of all, he starts out slow every single season. He always starts out slow. But he has to prove that he's healthy with his wrist because he tried to come back last year and he couldn't. And he missed the whole year. Now he has to come back from being off for an entire season and make sure that wrist is healthy. I'm not saying that he's not going to perform because he most likely will perform and hit 30 home runs, knowing Mark Teixeira. If Mark Teixeira is Mark Teixeira, he's going to hit 30 home runs, drive 100 runs, and bat 270. But going to second base, that's Mark Teixeira. Going to second base, Brian Roberts hasn't played a full season in 4 years.
Second base is a question mark, the biggest question mark along with third base.
Right.
Right.
Brian Roberts, he has had concussion problems in the past. He's been out of baseball for a while as far as injuries are concerned with the Orioles and wherever else. I think it was at the Dodgers, I'm not sure. But he is definitely the biggest question mark on that infield. Then you go to shortstop with Jeter, who, he's old.
He's old. You don't
know if he's going to get hurt again.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you don't know how much he's going to play this season. He's going to retire.
You don't know what you're getting at it.
You'll probably see a lot of Eduardo Nunez in that infield. I'll say that.
Eduardo Nunez
Certainly.
is third base. I think he'll play third base. I think you're going to see a lot of Kelly Johnson, too.
Exactly.
Kelly Johnson will play third base, second base. You move Eduardo Nunez to third base, or one day Kelly Johnson play third, Nunez plays short, or Nunez plays short, Kelly Johnson plays second. There's going to be a lot
There's going to be a
of
lot of movement, and for the first month or so, a ton of movement to see where they're most comfortable playing and where they're succeeding the most.
I think they'll probably end up with Johnson at second, Nunez at third, Jeter short.
And move on from there and see
Eventually,
what they have.
That's the final product.
But like I said,
I agree. Because Roberts, I don't know if
injuries are a concern with every team, but when you look at this Yankee team, it's definitely eye-opening that they have the potential where they have an opening day lineup that's completely different come June, come July.
Certainly. Well, I mean, you could have that with any team, but I think that this Yankee team, it has is chock full of injury-prone players, and some of them are towards the end of their careers, which makes it even more devastating when they get injured because then they could be out for even longer. So I think that this Yankee team is in a very fragile state right now.
Right.
And
but they will be competitive. I think they'll make the playoffs. You don't think they're gonna make the playoffs as a second wild card even?
they have the potential, certainly. I just think that
I think they have a shot to make the playoffs. I think they contend.
No, they'll definitely.
They're not going
be,
to go to the World Series. No way.
No, they'll definitely be in the race for the playoff spots. I'm just a little hesitant to say that I think that they're going to go to the playoffs.
Okay, I understand that. If I was a betting man right now, I wouldn't bet them to miss out in the playoffs unless a big injury happens.
I don't know.
Even as a second wild card.
There's
Remember,
just
there's 2 wild cards.
I
right now.
remember. I know.
Yeah.
I know. There's just way too many questions.
Yeah, no, you're right.
There's too many question marks, and another thing that we haven't even mentioned. You can't replace Mariano Rivera,
Oh no,
so that's another hole.
right.
So, and that's
We don't
a
know if
huge hole.
Robertson can
You
do
don't
that.
know who you don't know if he could step up. Can he? Who knows? Like we said, if they stay healthy, absolutely, sky's the limit. But if the injury bug starts to come along, like any other team who has to deal with injuries, it's going to be difficult.
Who would have thought that going into this season, the Met fans would be a little more excited than on the future of things than the Yankees are.
Oh, it certainly looks like that. But in the meantime, Met fans, we got to stay
Hey,
seated.
We are
gotta-
definitely seated. Yankees, you're the top dogs.
There you go. Keep that title.
But we're coming. We are coming.
We're coming and we're leaving. We're leaving the studio because we are way over time over here.
Hey, I don't
Already
care. Was Mike kicking us
8:55.
out? Listening, Mike? Kicking us out?
You know what? If he's not gonna kick you out, I'm gonna kick you out and do this show
By the
next
way,
week
an
by
update.
myself.
Another
Another update. Here we go. One last. How about? Let me hear the Knicks.
Brooklyn's up by 10, 54-44 at
Watch
the half.
out. Watch out. How about the Knicks?
Probably down 30 now.
They're down.
No, they're winning. 44-33 with 8 minutes and 36 seconds left in the second.
Oh, they're setting themselves up for disaster. Unbelievable. Another letdown. Now I gotta run home, turn the Knick game
First,
on.
Mike Woodson, I can't believe he's still on the team.
I'm gonna have to go home, turn the Knick game on.
Joe, you want to get into another Nick debate right now?
They're gonna go into the fourth quarter.
It's all about the Knicks.
They're gonna go into the fourth quarter up 2 points, and Kevin Love's gonna kill him in the end. Like I already see it coming. But make sure you tune in next week, same time, same place. We're broadcasting live from the basement of La Penta, as always. Joe D here alongside with John Franchini.
Let's go, Martin St. Louis.
You hear that? A little hockey in Sports Central for the.
Where's Pete Contadori? That's our hockey mention for tonight. Martin St. Louis on the Rangers, and I'm happy about it.
All right, you heard it first from John.
And let's go
Franchini.
Mets
Yeah.
and Giants.
Okay. Anything else? Would you like to shout out anybody else on the radio station?
No, that's
tonight?
it. I'm done.
All right, thank
That's
you.
it? You're
I'm,
good?
I'm trying to end this
I'm
here.
done.
And
Go
you
ahead.
keep going.
I'm excited about Martin St. Louis. But go ahead.
Sax, thank you for joining us. Maybe we'll have you on again sometime soon. I don't know if that'll happen with your antics tonight, but
Oh boy.
I'll let him slip. Tune in next week, Sports Central. If you're not listening, I don't know what. If you're not
You're missing out.
You're missing out. That's a good one. All right. If you're not listening, you're missing out.
Well said.
You're gonna really end it on well said. We're still on the air.
Have a good night.
There we go. You heard it first.